Melody here. You might know me as ApplePie Movement. I'm a humanitarian sharing the conversations with humanity which need to be heard. In today's conversation with Rev Rhina, we discuss how she went from being a lawyer to advocating for immigrant rights and founding the first church for immigrants in San Francisco. So come on, grab a piece of pie and join our conversation.
I was raised by fundamentalist Christians, so I come from a very old Christian family. When I came out, I was disowned by my family. I'm a Bible college graduate, formerly in full-time ministry and all of that. Yeah, and I went over 7 years without talking to my family, and then my ex tried to kill me. And after she tried to kill me, I went to my mom and I asked for my old room back, and she turned me away. She turned me away in the name of Christ. So that's why I feel compelled to reach out and to step up, because you're very, very right in that many people will try to take their lives or end up in, homeless or as a sex worker because they don't have that support. And I believe that my maternal family is a lost cause. I can't really argue with them theologically, but as to the families who might be compelled change, I'm not sure what the specific way to appeal to them is.
I think my hope is that people grow. People will understand at some point or another that they only have one life to live. They cannot waste their hating, wasting hate their own creation, this child that they brought into the world. And my hope is that most people is going to be broken. Their hearts are going to be broken by love, and then they're going to open up. My hope is that, and I've seen it happen. I know it's not the easiest thing. I know it doesn't happen to everybody. And I don't think arguing a scripture is what gets people to say, oh, you win. Yeah, that's a good, a good theological argument. No, I think people who are entrenched in that worldview, but I always tell people, why don't you look at me with the eyes of God? I'm sure God is looking at me with love, and if you're not looking at me with love, you're not looking at me like God is looking at me.
Right. I completely agree. I read in your bio that you were taught that being gay, something to be ashamed of, is considered a sin by different sects of Christianity, basically, and that's something that you had to journey to overcome, to accept your gay and Christian identity. How did you overcome that? How did you accept yourself?
It actually was, that's why I say people can change, because I was a total hater and a fundamentalist and a born again, and I was sending everybody to hell, including myself, and anybody who watched secular movies was a sinner. And so I think for me, it took a lot of mentorship, a lot of people who believed I had the potential to change, a lot of good people who surround me, who started accompanying the process for my change. And at some point, it was a counselor who was also a pastor who started working with me when I came out to my husband and said, I don't think I can be in this, because I don't think I want to be with a man. And we went to a counselor, and that counselor started telling me, first, I wasn't possessed by demons. Then homosexuality was just a human condition. And little by little, I started seeing what he saw and accepting myself. But it took a long time up to that point. I was probably 25 and struggling and feeling really depressed because I didn't want to be without a church, without a God. I didn't want to hurt anybody. But so it took a lot of people having patience and believing that I could change, and and a counselor, a good counselor.
Do you have a certain aha moment that was pivotal for you when you kind of accepted okay, maybe I don't have a demon of homosexuality. Maybe, this isn't sin. Maybe this is part of me I need to accept, or was it just a gradual?
It was gradual. It was a process. It wasn't until I finally, got to the conclusion who I am is who am I going to be all my life. And so I better love myself. And, I used to pray to God to kill me or to change me. Then God didn't kill me, so God didn't change me. So there was no other option, but I started loving myself. So, no, it was a gradual process with a lot of good friends involved.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another ApplePie TableTalk. And thank you, Reverend Rhina, for joining us. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And just